In the annals of history, countless figures have inadvertently played pivotal roles in shaping the world. Among these is an unassuming doctor whose actions ignited a war between two of the most powerful empires of his time. This is the story of Dr. William Brydon, a name that resonates through the corridors of history for his role in one of the most disastrous conflicts of the 19th century, the First Anglo-Afghan War. The year was 1839. The British Empire, ever wary of Russian expansion into Central Asia, had resolved to secure its influence over Afghanistan. The geopolitical maneuvering of the Great Game led to a military expedition aimed at replacing the Afghan ruler, Dost Muhammad Khan, with the more pliable Shah Shuja Durrani. Dr. Brydon, a military surgeon, was assigned to accompany the British Army on this mission. His primary task was to tend to the wounded and sick, but fate had far greater plans for him. Initially, the British campaign seemed successful. Shah Shuja was installed as a puppet ruler, and the British forces settled into an uneasy occupation of Kabul. However, the situation quickly deteriorated. The Afghan people, fiercely independent and deeply resentful of foreign interference, rose in rebellion. By late 1841, the British found themselves under siege in Kabul, their position untenable. As the rebellion grew, negotiations between the British and Afghan leaders reached a breaking point. The British agreed to a humiliating retreat, promising to withdraw their forces to India. In January 1842, approximately 16,000 soldiers and civilians began the grueling journey through the snow-covered passes of the Hindu Kush. Dr. Brydon was among them. The retreat turned into a massacre. Afghan tribesmen, emboldened by their success, launched relentless attacks on the column. Starvation, exposure, and disease further decimated the retreating force. Day by day, the number of survivors dwindled. By the time the column approached the gates of Jalalabad, a British-held fortress, only one man remained alive to tell the tale: Dr. William Brydon. When Brydon's battered and frostbitten form was spotted approaching Jalalabad, he was immediately brought inside and asked what had happened to the rest of the army. His haunting reply, "I am the army," became a grim epitaph for the disastrous retreat. The image of the lone survivor on his exhausted pony became a symbol of the hubris and folly of imperial overreach. The tragedy of the retreat did not go unanswered. News of the massacre reached London, sparking outrage and demands for retribution. The British launched a punitive expedition, storming Kabul and exacting revenge before withdrawing entirely from Afghanistan. However, the First Anglo-Afghan War left a legacy of mistrust and hostility that would linger for generations. Dr. Brydon's role in this conflict was both accidental and extraordinary. He had no political ambitions, no strategic plans, and no desire to shape the fate of empires. Yet his survival and subsequent account of the horrors of the retreat provided a rallying cry for British imperial ambitions, even as it served as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overreaching. History remembers Dr. William Brydon, not just as a survivor, but as a living witness to one of the most devastating episodes of colonial misadventure. His story is a reminder of how even ordinary individuals can become central figures in extraordinary events. The war he survived may have been fought between empires, but its lessons resonate to this day, underscoring the enduring complexities of intervention and the unpredictable consequences of war.